Let me ask you about just this thing that we're doing here. This is podcasting. What do you?
Screenaholics. This is yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's our audience. There's a nation of screenaholics. What do you think? What do you think about like? And you've been doing this for a little while. So what's been your experience, and what do you think
yeah.
about it?
I think the podcasting space is shifting a little bit, and um, one really cool and kind of exciting thing is with the advent of these large language models, you have the possibility of using conversations as the language input for generating all kinds of different outputs. So I think there's going to be kind of a gold rush, for like news sources of um, original and up to date uh, ideas expressed in language. And I think that there's going to be a premium on that. And podcasting kind of, came out of radio a little bit, vlogging, blogging. But it's a way, I look at it as like conversational podcasts are a great way to do a brain dump. So I haven't said that many original things in this conversation. And I'd like to in the future explore like how every episode or every iteration of a podcast can bring forth something new into the world. And maybe this is where we're going to start to get more original because I haven't said these exact things. But yeah, I've been doing a deep dive into what some people call prompt engineering. Elon Musk had a great tweet where he said, basically, uh, prompt engineering prompt engineering is natural language programming. So you're giving instructions to the computer in terms that another human being would understand, and it transforms that through the LLM's architecture into whatever you're telling it to do. And it's really cool, and it can do a lot of things better than we can, whether that's editing for grammar, making it more concise, writing in the style of fill in your favorite author, Ernest Hemingway, Michael Pollan. Let's say I want to take a podcast transcript and make it into a blog post or an article. I can run a series of prompts that will give me the output that I want, um, and I'm just lightly guiding it along the way. So if I tell it right off the bat, just like write an article based on this transcript, it's going to be garbage in, garbage out. But if I go one step at a time, this is the thing about LLMs. They can only do one thing at a time. So you got to think with them step by step. And you say, all right, first step is let's just pick out what's the big idea in this piece. And you say, okay, so this is a transcript about, give it some of the topics and keywords and narratives, and then say, like, what's the big idea in here? It'll give you some options. You pick which one you like, and then you say, okay, now write me an outline with five main points in a logical order that flow from this big idea. It gives you the outline. You say, okay, I like this one and this one. Let's rearrange these. Now let's make this give this some more detail. Like look through, make sure that we're catching all the important details, and then also give me a list of the stuff that you're discarding. And so you can see it kind of like how it's thinking. And you say, oh, well, you discarded this, but doesn't that kind of fit in over here? Like, let's bring that back into the outline. And then once you've got your outline, then you can say, okay, now I want you to be so and so, a New Yorker essayist. And let's write, let's craft our opening hook for this section. And yeah, so it's just like you can consider writing as a process. It starts with the brain dump, this rough, unedited transcript. And what you get out on the other end in maybe a period of 30 minutes to an hour is a piece of polished prose that is entirely original because what was said in that conversation has never been said before. Maybe it's two people, a meeting of minds. The ideas have sex and give birth to this new idea. And so it doesn't have the problems that a lot of AI generated content have, which is that you're just giving it a prompt to basically pull from what's already been said on the internet, the data that it's trained on. So yeah, like it can summarize a book, and you can also you can do some novel combinations using just the data that it's trained on. But when you look at what people are doing with the Mid-Journey and image creation. It's like very creative stuff. I don't think anyone could say that AI is not creative at this point. Like it does very creative things. It's not just doing repetitive tasks. Humans, I would argue, are actually much better still at doing repetitive tasks than AI. AI is better at being creative. I can follow the same exact steps to generate an article out of a transcript. That's the repetitive part.
So in order to like get ready to in the new economy find a way to serve the machines, like what like but uh,
Yeah, we're still in charge. We're still giving them guidance. Like a
yeah.
prompt is just guidance. And so it's kind of like I love this analogy of cyborg chess. This is where players are allowed to use a computer playing other players. And um, what's interesting, so 1997, Deep Blue beat Gary Kasparov,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone thought like, okay, well, like now it's over. You know, the machines are just gonna take over the world. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration, but you know, instead the sport kind of bifurcated, and still the main event is just human versus human.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also tournaments where people are allowed to play with a computer. And what's funny is like mediocre chess players who have trained a lot with the computer will beat the grandmasters who are also using computers but haven't trained with the computer as much. So it's like this magnifier that rewards people who get good at using the technology. So my big bet for the next 5-10 years, I'm kind of angling in the direction of like a media company that will train my friends and the people who I want to have more influence, who have ideas that I want to see out there, train them to use these tools to be more prolific and create a quantity of quality writing that just blows the Michael Pollins and the people who are maybe a little more skeptical of using AI because they're a little more precious about their writing.